Welcome to YOUCANIC. Today here on YOUCANIC we have a 2016 Dodge Journey, and this has got the 3.6 Pentastar motor, which is a V6 motor. So we're going to go over how you'd replace your serpentine belt as well as the tensioner. If you're just replacing the serpentine belt, just omit taking off the tensioner and putting a new one back on. But you can just change the belt if you feel the need, or change your belt and tensioner, and that all depends on how you feel about your tensioner and at a certain amount of miles. Now, say if your belt is wearing out faster than it should, you're going to want to be looking for other things that are potentially holding it up, like whether the AC compressor is getting stuck, alternator, or something is out of balance. All right, but this is a diagram of the way the belt will run. So we have our power steering pump right here. We have a little idler pulley up top here. It just keeps it to flow out of the way of other things. We have our alternator up in the top corner. We have the AC down here. And then we have our water pump, the crankshaft, and then the tensioner pulley right here. So this tensioner releases by moving it to the left, and then that way we can get the belt off. And so the way the belt runs is smooth side around the tensioner, ribs around the power steering, ribbed around this idler, ribs around the alternator, ribs around the AC, and this water pump is smooth side with rib around the crankshaft. And right in below here, this is where like the water pump inlet is and hose lines. So that's why this belt goes up, and to give it the right thing like that. So that is your diagram to be able to look at and to know how to put your belt back on this Pentastar motor. And now we will go through the process of removing the belt, and then I will remove the tensioner just to show how that is removed and to be able to replace it, and we will put a new belt on. If you are just replacing the belt, you don't need to remove the tensioner. You just need to release that tension and remove the belt and put a new belt on. So to start with, you will raise the car up. You've removed the front tire. You don't have to, you could turn it to the right, but there is a cover, a plastic cover that you would remove here to be able to gain access. And with the car raised up, supported with jack stands, we can now gain access to what we need. Okay, so to start with, we need to release this tension, and so this has just it's a 3/8 drive to put in there. You can use a ratchet or you can use a special tensioner tool, but a ratchet works. Once you got some tension released, you should be able to. Okay, so we've got that tension released. And with that release, we'll be able to move the belt off one or more of the pulleys, and then we can now remove the full belt. And that's your belt removed. Okay, so with this full belt removed, we can now remove the tensioner if you're going to go ahead and be replacing the tensioner. This is a size 16. To fit on that tensioner bolt. And so that's the tensioner has been removed. This tensioner is all one unit, so when you buy a new one, it'll come with the tensioner and the pulley already installed. And also, so you'll take it and you take your new one, you put it on, you're going to see this tab right here. You see that tab right there? That tab is going to line up with this corresponding mark on the motor to be able to hold the tension, so when you put that, once this is tightened down, you'll get the proper tension. So you would for replacement, we're going to line that tab up and sit there, and now We're going to start our bolt in. And we'll tighten our number 16. Now, we've got our new belt to put on. You could check to see that it's the same length as the old one. It might be a little bit shorter just for the fact that it is not stretched. But it should be relatively close to the same length. So now it's just a matter of wrapping it around the pulleys. So we got to get it, we'll get it wrapped around all the pulleys, and we go around to make sure that all the ribs are aligned. So we've gone through, we've got the belt around all the pulleys generally, and in the ribs, and now we need to release the tension off of the tensioner to be able to get the belt wrapped around that tensioner and then set the tension. And that should be the replacement of your belt and tensioner on a 3.6 Pentastar motor. Alright, so with the tension released, I should be able to get the belt around the remaining pulleys. Again, it may be a little bit tougher since the belt is new. And then once you've got that around, double checking that all the belt is around all the pulleys, inside of all the ribs, and then just release that tension. Everything looks pretty good. Finishing up the job, you're just going to put this plastic cover back on here, put your tire back on, and put your vehicle on the ground. Thanks for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.